This is Elton Brewington. I'm talking with a collection of presenters today from this morning, Brightside Global Trade Podcast. And we are talking with Daryl Locklear, and we're asking, he is the chairman and producer for Muscadine Wine. And I've asked him how and has he thought through what his targets and what his objectives might be with improving a consideration for more countrywide reception of muscadine wines. Is there something that you're considering or would like to consider that way?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, yes, I would love to expand the wine to all regions in the North Atlantic. But the other side of that is muscadine has I guess a taste that if you're not familiar with, you think it's an off taste.
Yeah.
If you're familiar only with vinifera wines, then when you taste muscadine, you think there's an off taste there, where it's not an off taste. It's just a different taste. Just like Merlots are different from a Shiraz, from Shiraz from a Chianti, and so on and so forth. But we definitely also produce fruit wines that and fruit wines are sold across the world. So would have more possibly better gravitation towards the fruit wines than we would say the muscadine. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to spread muscadine just from the health benefits, as opposed to just being a wine itself. So if we can get people attaching the health benefits to the muscadine wine, then we possibly could get that to grow further than just the southeast of the United States.
I agree. That makes a good point. If muscadines were here since Sir Walter Raleigh, and then it wouldn't, I don't know if it can considerably be considered a wine as a fruit medicine or a fruit medicinal benefit, and what that looks like and what the impacts could be. And I don't know. I mean, so you've explored that to some extent. I mean, and I won't get into some of your trade secret operations, but it sounds like it might have some great benefit in terms of people reaching out, taking into consideration, and what that impact might look like over time. I mean, so muscadine has I don't even know what that looks like. It's been a while since I've had muscadine too. I've got a muscadine wine tree in my backyard.
I have to ship some wine to you.
Yeah, you do. You do. My grandfather used to raise grapes, and this particular muscadine grape is it's a unique grape. It's a unique flavor. But I tell you, I know that, and I don't know if there's something in the seed and the skin of those grapes that have incredible impact on. And so I'd like to explore that with you to some extent, see what that looks like.
Yeah, it's definitely the antioxidants that are in the muscadine. I know that over at University of Greensboro here in North Carolina, they're doing a lot of research on what impact the antioxidants in muscadine are having on cancer patients, hypertension, and so on and so forth. So yes, there's studies actually ongoing now to see what the health benefits are of the muscadine.
Okay, very good. That's great. I'd love to sit down and kind of plow through some territory areas that we could look at and see what that looks like. Now, what we're doing is just product exploration and reviewing. And so, Sri, tell me about the roadie is already there. I mean, you got such wide appeal to the in the roti, and it's a great food. It has nutritional value. I mean, I don't know of anybody who wouldn't like and want to use the roti. But tell me, where you're having some of the the most incredible challenges that you're having with that?
So, but what we want to do and our goal is we want to introduce roti to so many different people who may not have actually experienced it before either. And like the roti is such a versatile product that can go with so many different things. We can use it with spread and dips. We can use it. We can make wrap and rolls with it. We can use it or side with any of the curries and dishes that you have. Can also be used as a snack that you can have on the side, especially when you have like when you're traveling and then you have the methi roti. That's an excellent snack as well. So we what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring a very clean ingredient, preservative free product in front of as many people and introduce them to this wonderful Indian flatbread that we have.
Sounds great. I mean, I don't see any, no obstacles ahead. It's just introducing the food to as many people as you can so that they can try it and see, because I mean, the burrito is a big deal, and that might be your only competition to that extent. But I mean, I mean, I think that the burrito became famous because of the breakfast sandwich. I mean, they combined eggs and bacon and sausage into a burrito, into a roll, and that just blew things up. So I mean, if you could find a food or a recipe that can work, the roti can do enormous good, and also in the Caribbean, what the Caribbean looks like, because you've infused, and I like what you've done, infused some nutritional aspects of the roti into the normal use and capacity. So good job, good job. So we're here to help, whatever we can do. Tell us where you are, and we'll chime in to make the road green lights all the way. Green lights all the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hami, tell me
Yeah.
about the Three Sisters and the meats that way. Tell me how you see the future. And because I mean, this meat profile, I mean, has nutritional value, is not so, so absorbent. Tell me what you're seeing the greatest obstacles as.
I think our greatest obstacle right now, more than anything, is just, and we're addressing it. It's just getting in front of the right, in front of the buyers who make the decisions, to bring our product on board. So to that end, we're working with different brokers to help us achieve that goal. For us as a company, we really focus on we focus on our retail side. We do on our own restaurant. We also do wholesale, and grocery is, like my target, like my goal is to get us in the hole. That is like my lifelong since I started this. That's where I want to get us into. But also with our wholesale side, we can work with wineries, for example. We have these in Northern California and down in Santa Barbara. We have the ability to work with restaurants, and we did do that, in San Francisco. And actually, a lot of our business now is coming east of Mississippi, so we're getting a lot of traction on the coast. We just fulfilled a pretty large order yesterday that's heading to New Jersey. It's going to like a little independent market in New Jersey. So, and along with that, we have a food service component because our co-packers, we can do food service with them. So another area that we are working to get into is airline and being part of airline menus, whether that's in the United States or outside the United States. So what's nice about where we're at is we can grow, we can scale, we will not sacrifice the quality of the component, and we can reach a lot of different consumers. And I think what is really great about the company is, like you said, it's super clean. We're certified clean label. There's nothing in it that you don't want. So nothing artificial, no sugar, gluten-free, nut-free, grain-free, dairy, all that. But it also reaches a wide audience. We have had free age group, demographic, background, they have enjoyed it. So I think that's what's great about us is our audience is huge. Our experiences can be big, and it's really just sky's the limit thing for us. It's just a matter of just getting more and more people, to try to create it.
Very good. That's true. The obstacles are reaching more people because it's meat, man. You know, I mean, and I like the aspect of what you've done with the flavors, and while they're unique in their taste, the application, and they're not like the typical, smaller. There's the smaller sausages that people eat on the beef jerky. They're not like that. When they do have a better nutritional capacity, but those meat sausages or the small chewy beef jerkies, that may be some level of competition, but yours are different. I mean, I don't know. I mean, some of the retainer stores, the large product stores, and the application stores now. And now, how does your product compare to the Portuguese of Portugal? I mean, because they, it's an element to that.
So it's different than a Portuguese linguiça, for example, because a linguiça is a fresh sausage that you have to cook before you eat, whereas ours is fully shelf stable. So like it has a shelf life within the package of like at least 250 days guaranteed. So ours is probably, if you're going to compare it, more comparable to like an Italian salami or an Italian cured meat. But on top of that, it's just our recipe is very regionally specific. So our recipe is traditional to the part of Spain that we're from, but if you were to go to a different part of Spain, you'd probably do it a little bit differently. So I would say like our competition, I would say for us, is other chorizos that are being made in Spain and imported to the United States. That's how we measure ourselves, is against Palacios, is against Fermin, those brands. That's who I see.
Oh, very good. So now the compliment. So it's just a matter of getting people to sample, to taste, to try it, and then accordingly. I mean, because I don't know how you looked at the prospect of a road food. Because typical Americans are Americans all over the country are about to hit the road this summer. And so when you're in a typical convenience or confectionery store and you're on the road and you need to eat something between destinations, I mean, let's just say every 6-hour traveler is going to eat something on the road. Every 6 to 7 hour traveler, they're going to eat something on the road. And if you could find a way to get it into the traveling stores as a sample or taste component, that could be a big deal. That could be a big deal. So let's talk about that and see how we could add value like that. Robert, tell us what you're thinking. I mean, because you talk about travel, man. We talk about people traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast and the book, because many people will pick up a book, to look at what we need to consider, or what we need to what's important that way. Tell us what you think.
Well, I'm just the audio book just came out this month also, so that's another great way to kind of get the content and get the book. And I'm just for me, it's again one of the main things that I really didn't touch on, which I'll touch on now, that the book deals with. I growing up in South Carolina, grew up in the Jim Crow South. So it deals with a little bit of the race issues there, a little bit too, how to kind of bring people together in terms of the divide there. So I kind of talk a little bit about that as well, and how we can kind of, come together in my early part of the book growing up. So it deals with a little bit of that. And then later on, there's another component. One of the things that I developed earlier, after I did my ABC movie with Ed Asner, Mary Tyler Moore for ABC, the production company that I did that project with, they wanted to know what else I was working on. And at the time I was working on a documentary entitled Erase the Hate. And I had Halle Berry had signed on to be a part of it. I had a letter of intent from her. Ed Asner had agreed to actually host the project for me, be an executive producer as well. And so we started developing this project with this company, and they were the development arm of USA Networks. So we actually, the project, you have to get the book to find out how it turned out. but it's an interesting story. And the concept went on to win a couple of Cable Ace Awards and also a couple of Emmy Awards. And it also became a National Erase the Hate Day by President Clinton because of the special. So it deals with that aspect also, which is great. But again, like I said, I'm not going to spoil it, but you know, there's some great stories in the book, just as people and humanity, and like I said, inspiration. So I'm hoping that people, you know, of course, it has a little celebrity things that people like to read about also, but that the main core values of the book really deals with just the tenacity, don't give up, work hard. And again, I love what you guys do with your show and what you guys stand for about helping people and bringing us all together to help each other. And that's really one of the core values of the book as well. So what you guys do really resonates with me personally. And also, I think it resonates, the book, like I said, has very the core of it is that same concept to a degree. So I'm extremely grateful that you guys have me as a part of your program today, because you know, I think we're all in the same boat in that respect. So I would say get the books available on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Audibles now, any place you get purchase your books, you can get it. So again, I'm grateful and thank you again for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Tell me, in the book, you highlight destinations on the West Coast that people traveling should need to see and observe.
You know, there's you know, there's destinations from, well, South Carolina to New York City to Los Angeles. So those are the three main destinations that the setting takes place in. And, you know, within those settings, you know, there's a lot of familiar landmarks that people will know, like Warner Brothers Studios.
Check. Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Hello.
gonna increase this
Can you mute?
level.
Yeah.
Yeah, mute. Yeah, okay.
All right. Sorry for the interruption.
Go ahead, Henry.
Okay.
Go ahead, Robert.
I'll edit it out. Yeah. Go
That's
ahead.
all right. So yeah, there's a lot of information.
we're gonna
and lots
sell
of
books.
destinations.
Okay. All right. Hold up, please. Check.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh.
Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, so I was just saying that, yeah, the three main destinations are South Carolina, New York City, and then Los Angeles, California.
Okay. But then
And
you don't handle that from a driving point of view, right? It's a, you know, because you know, that's a pretty extensive trip to drive on.
yeah, well, it's it just, those are just the three main settings and locations. But you know, again, like I said, the book, you know, like it's a great book for someone who wants to just kind of read a fascinating story about, you know, the ins and outs of the business part of the business part of the business, as well as, you know, like I said, some fun stories about the entertainment business, as well as, you know, the don't give up and the tenacity, which you spoke about earlier. You got to have the tenacity to not give up and keep going, and hard work and all that stuff, which is also a core part. And also my father, you know, I have to thank him for his, you know, to give him all the credit because he had a construction company growing up. And so he taught me the work ethic. So and also introduced me to, made sure I was on the church bus every Sunday. So introduced me to God and the work. And so I have him to thank for me being here in that respect.
Wow, that's amazing. Robert, I can't wait. And I want to do a segment with film and dance and your book. So I'll get back in touch with you.
Yeah, I will.
We're getting ready now.
Where's the audio?